Education Ministry commits to deeper collaboration with Jamaica Independent Schools Association. The establishment of an agreement between independent schools and the Heart NSTA Trust is among a raft of recommendations made by Minister of Education as part of efforts to boost collaboration. This follows a meeting held involving Minister of Education, Senator Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, other ministry officials, and a team from the Jamaica Independent Schools Association, led by President Mackenzie. In a statement, the ministry noted that the JISCO team highlighted several areas of concern affecting the independent school sector. These include the need for technical assistance through internship support in areas such as accounting and administrative operations. Dr. Morris-Dixon proposed the drafting of a memorandum of understanding between JISCO and the Heart NSTA Trust, which would enable independent schools to benefit from the government's National Skills Training and Internship Framework. She stated that the ministry will facilitate dialogue between both entities in the shortest possible time. It highlights gaps in school leadership and professional development. The JISCO president called for the inclusion of independent school leaders in the ministry's training seminars and back-to-school conferences, noting that such collaboration would raise the awareness standards of education delivery across all school types. A matter of national significance that was discussed was the lack of accountability among some unregistered independent schools, which, according to Mrs. Mackenzie, continue to pose a serious threat to the reputation and credibility of the wider independent school community. JISCO reaffirmed its support of robust regulatory oversight and encouraged greater enforcement to protect students and families. Dr. Morris-Dixon expressed gratitude for the candid exchange and committed to building a more inclusive framework for independent schools. The ministry stated that it recognizes the critical role that independent schools play in national development. The minister noted that the meeting signals the intention to ensure that JISCO is not just consulted, but meaningfully engaged in shaping the future of education in Jamaica. The meeting also allowed for agreement on the signing of new memorandum of understanding for spaces in independent schools, as well as the provision of an office for full-time staff. The ministry and JISCO will hold a follow-up meeting to agree on timelines and other concerns of the association, including the establishment of a formal working group to advance the collaboration agenda. Prime Minister Holness says government examining legislation to introduce harsher penalties for thieves who prey on Telecom's infrastructure. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the government is examining legislation to introduce harsher penalties for thieves who prey on telecommunications infrastructure. Dr. Holness, who chairs the National Disaster Risk Management Council, says Jamaica has a very robust telecommunication infrastructure which has served the country through storms. However, he knows that the systems are vulnerable to criminal activity. Telecommunications companies have spent millions over the years to replace stolen equipment. Dr. Holness acknowledges their effort, adding that the government must also take action. The Prime Minister points out that the theft of critical infrastructure puts entire communities at risk.
Particularly the theft of fuel, the theft of generators, the theft of copper and fiber, and sometimes even the repeaters. So that is a significant vulnerability. I know they have invested heavily in trying to secure the equipment that keeps the network running, but I think that the government must now create special legislation to place special harsher penalties on those persons who prey upon these critical infrastructure. Now think about it. Someone goes and steals 50 gallon, 100 gallon of fuel. That repeater cell site goes down. The person who steals gets whatever he gets. I don't know how much they'll get for that fuel. They'll probably sell it at half price. But everybody else is without. The commerce that doesn't get to go through, right? Somebody in an emergency need to call a hospital or get some emergency service. That one thief would have put an entire community at risk. And we cannot treat it as, him just thief some fuel. That level of thinking in our society where we make excuses for these kinds of acts, we must take that out of our mind. His act is not stealing from the telecommunication company. He's stealing from you. He's taking away your security and your safety. It is a criminal act against essentially a public service. And the level of punishment for that should be stronger for a greater deterrent effect. And so we are examining the legislation to improve that.
Met Service forecast up to 5 major hurricanes for 2025 season. The Meteorological Service of Jamaica, Met Service, forecasts 3 to 5 major hurricanes for 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. Director Evan Thompson explained that the projection indicates Category 3, 4, or 5 hurricanes with sustainable wind speed exceeding 177 kilometers per hour. He was addressing the National Disaster Risk Management Council meeting at the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development in Kingston on Wednesday. Regarding tropical storms, Thompson advised that between 13 and 19 could develop. He noted that in a normal year, 14 tropical storms usually develop, producing wind speed of about 64 to 118 kilometers per hour. Thompson pointed out that 6 to 10 hurricanes are expected to develop from these tropical storms. Approximately 7 occurred in a normal year, but 6 to 10 means that we could have 10 of them, which is more than the norm. The last time a hurricane made landfall over Jamaica was in 2012, Category 1 Sandy. The last time the hurricane hit Jamaica, though, was during last year's event Beryl. It was a direct hit because the eye passed so close to the coast that we experienced some of the major activities from the eye wall of the system, he detailed. Thompson explained that key climatic patterns influencing the 2025 hurricane season, which began on June 1, include warm sea surface temperatures, a mostly neutral El Nino southern oscillation, and an active West African monsoon. Right now, the temperatures in the Caribbean region, as well as over the North Atlantic Oceans, are warmer than usual. They may not be actually as warm as they were last year, but they are significantly warm, he noted. The director shared that the hurricane names for 2025 are the same as 2019 except for Dexter that replaced Deborah, which devastated the Bahamas. Meanwhile, Thompson assured that Jamaica can expect active, timely, contextual, and continuous reporting from the Met Service. We are committed to monitoring, and we have officers at our National Meteorological Center in Kingston at the Norman Manley International Airport. They are constantly monitoring 24/7, every day of the week. Expect contextual warning messages. We don't just take something and cut and paste. We have to put how we will impact you in Jamaica, and that's what we'll communicate. So it might take a few minutes to retrofit the bulletins, he pointed out. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.